Hi everyone. Some of the interviews are actually becoming like a roadie show. We have with us Hilly today, who has actually faced a roadies interview in her XLRI, and there are a lot of B schools also doing that. I think more than a B school, it's related to a particular college की जगह. It's more about a particular person who ask you these kind of question. अगर आपका वर्क एक्स है तो भाई वर्क एक्स क्यों है, गैप क्यों नहीं लिया, ये क्यों नहीं किया, पढ़ाई क्यों नहीं किया, स्कोर अच्छा आया तो स्कोर ज्यादा क्यों आ गया, ये क्यों आ गया. So they are going to ask you questions about everything. Fine. I want to share various experiences. Like the person started with the introduction. Within 20 seconds, cut करके कोई और question. He started answering that question, cut करके third question. So these are the various stress kind of a situation they try to put you in. But don't worry, it's part of the process. They're just trying to test you how you perform under stress. So, Hilly, any kind of experience you had during your interview?
Talking about the roadie style interview, I think I have completed my PGDM in HRM from XLRI, but I also cleared the BM course. So my BM interview was something that I always recall. Let me turn off my video. I'm not sure if you can see my this Google DP. So even right now, I have a artwork of a hunter with the moon background, a pink moon. So this was the first thing. It was back then, it was Zoom interviews. The first thing that they saw, they asked me, what is that image that you had just before you joined in? So I told them, actually, I have a YouTube channel and I make gaming videos there. So the character that I like to play. It's a multiplayer online battle arena game. So similar to Dota, League of Legends, there was a mobile game called Mobile Legends. I used to play a particular hero in that and make tutorials for that. So that hero is like a huntress, and my gaming name was all huntress, and also I had that entire theme running, and I had that DPs there. And since it's the same Gmail account, this was here. So they got very excited about this. I had to explain the entire game next, and then Then they asked me, the hero that I make videos on, it is a stealth hero. It goes invisible. So now I had to explain why I chose that hero. And then they started asking me, so is this a reflection of your personality? Do you like to go behind people's backs and attack them? So I had to again defend myself. So it went on and on. I think the almost 15 minutes or 20 minutes went just about me defending why I picked that hero and why that hero is not a negative reflection of
Oh
my
my God.
personality. Yeah.
करेक्ट करेक्ट. हाँ, तो these kind of situation are there which would, यार लाल पहना है तो लाल क्यों पहना है, black तो why black, why green, why this thing. So all these things are always, you have to be prepared for all those kind of answers. Right. So yeah, they are going to question about everything. So उनको ना मौका चाहिए होता है to pull your socks or just to put you in a situation where you don't know how to get answer. Like आज कल एक बच्चा का why you're keeping a beard. That guy was keeping a beard. Why you're keeping a beard? तो उसने गलती से क्या कह दिया, सर विराट कोहली इज माई रोल मॉडल. विराट कोहली कॉपी कर रहा हूँ. उसके बाद जो उसकी बजाई गई, तो भाई तो विराट कोहली क्यों बोल रहे हो यार. यू जस्ट कीप इट टू योरसेल्फ ना. इफ यू आर, व्हाई आर गेटिंग इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय समबडी एल्स. एंड सी, वी आर गोइंग फॉर अ एमबीए कोर्स. So if you are getting influenced, get influenced by a business person. तो गूगल करो any business person, if he's keeping a beard, use his example, that's fine. But don't use विराट कोहली या शाहरुख खान को, सर क्या डांस करता है उसको देख के मैं यहाँ पे आ गया. So, Kelly, I have a question for you. If they tell you been into HR, all these things, so if the panelist, when the panelist is taking the interview, uska ego, self-respect is running a little high. I can understand that. It's because we are human beings. So, if they ask you to dance, तो नाचना चाहिए कि नहीं नाचना चाहिए?
I think either way, whatever you choose, there's no right or wrong answer. It's whether they liked you in the end that matters. So
I believe if you have a panelist like me in front of you, अगर मैं बोल रहा हूँ नाचो, तो नाचो. नाचने का मतलब ये नहीं सर मैं तो मौका ढूंढ रहा था, टेबल पे चढ़ के बंदा नाच रहा है भाई हमारा. नहीं नहीं, नाच मतलब इफ यू आर अ डांसर, इफ यू बीन अ डांसर, ऑब्वियसली दैट्स व्हाई दे आस्किंग यू दैट क्वेश्चन. सो इन दैट केस यू जस्ट हैव टू मूव योर नेक, मूव योर हैंड्स, दैट्स इट, सिटिंग देयर ओनली. ठीक है, वो ये नहीं कि मौका मिला तो सलमान खान की तरह तुम चालू हो जाओ. सो या, यू हैव टू कीप योर सेल्फ, द क्लासीनेस शुड नॉट गो अवे एट दैट टाइम. सेम if you like to paint, if you like to sketch, if you like to draw, please add all these things into your introduction. ठीक है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई लाइक टू रीड केमिस्ट्री, आई एम इनटू दिस थिंग. और अगर सर ने अपना हाथ दिखा दिया कि भाई मेरा हाथ पढ़ के कोई बताओ तो पहले अच्छा ही बोलना, बुरा मत बोलना। सर 24 घंटे तुम्हारे पास, तुम गए तो उस बोले साले 24 घंटे का तो पता नहीं, लेकिन मैं तो कुछ छोड़ूंगा नहीं यार, तेरा आज गया। तो you just have to make sure that if you add something like that, na, it's something, because panel is also bored, yeah. I've been taking interviews all day and suddenly I saw this artwork which you said. I got something new to talk about. Let me ask you a question about that. So these are the kind of thing panelist is looking for, to add entertainment to himself and to put you into a situation and see how you come out of that. So again, the way you said, there's no right or wrong answer, but go with the flow. Like at that time, if he is spending 20 minutes on a particular character rather than asking you a question about that, he is basically trying to judge your personality via that answers, which is fine, which is the way of any way of interview. So this is all good. So how was your experience at XLRI interview in general, overall, apart from the that particular
Oh, yeah,
question?
compared to every other interview, like you said, actually, I reworked my 1 minute intro so many times to make sure that it is interesting. But that also put me into a lot of problems because I said I like long distance cycling. Now I had to prepare who won Tour de France and every other cycling event in the past 3 years, first, second, and third position, because they could ask anything. So everything I had prepared in my first introduction, I had to prepare every other random GK related to that just to be sure I've covered all the hygiene aspects. So preparation for interview is basically you read as much as you can, cover the basic hygiene of knowing everything. Second is you need to make them believe that you are someone that they want to interact with more. You need to show that you are an interesting person. I felt like this is what in summary it was. But XLRI interview was in a way easier because they were not that focused on random facts about your hobbies that you should be knowing. They were more interested in giving you very situational questions, uh, talking about something related to hobbies and trying to assess you on your personality, whether in the YouTube thing that I told, whether I know marketing, whether I know the basics of retention metrics, all these metrics. These are things that I eventually got asked after all the 15 minutes of round and round. So that is how it was.
Correct, correct. So exactly, you have to be prepared about your story. So any kind of a question they're asking you which is related to situationship, this and that, they're kind of asking, trying to judge you from your situation rather than asking you that question of why hobbies, MBA, why this, why that. So that's part of the game, right? So guys, if you have any question, you can ask us as we go along. If you have any question for me, or if you have any question to Shirley about her interview experience, so please do put forward. So, and I would recommend you to please go through the last year experiences of from the students, because very important to understand कैसे question आ रहे हैं, क्या हो रहा है. But it's basically revolved around your story. They want to understand you. Fine. Some people follow the set pattern of the HR question to do that. Some people will give you enough situations to find out who you are. So it's a various, everyone have their various way to find out how you prepare for that. That's, I think that's the main thing only. Okay. So Shirley, you wanted to go for MBA in HR. So my question for you is, you did your MBA in HR, sorry. So why HR? Because if you look at from the common sense point of view, तो it's like for a layman, HR मतलब रंगोली बनाना, HR मतलब सबसे ज्यादा जो गाली पड़ती है वो HR के ऊपर. मैंने जिसने व्हेन आई वाज वर्किंग बिफोर माय MBA, सबसे ज्यादा गाली पड़ी वो मैंने HR को दी होंगी. सैलरी लेट आए तो गाली, सैलरी ना आए तो गाली, कुछ भी काम हो, ये नहीं हुआ, अप्रेजल नहीं हुआ तो HR गाली, जबकि वो बेचारा HR का काम है भी नहीं. योर बॉस इज टेकिंग केयर ऑफ अप्रेजल. फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट का काम है तुम्हारा सैलरी रिलीज करवाना, बट HR वालों को ही बीच में बेचारे आ जाते हैं. सो व्हाट इज MBA in HR? Because you went through the interview of Symbiosis, you went through all the HR based colleges interviews and finally chose XLRI. Why HR?
So it is simple, I guess. I had a very brief work experience of 7 months. There, I realized that my interest lies more in these HR type of field. And it's not because I did not want to work. I genuinely thought that if I get into the other side, I can be the face to employees and make sure that the whatever, even when there are tough decisions to be taken, I can make sure that the impact is less, or I would have at least some power to impact some people in their career or something. And I was not wrong. So far, I've done 3 roles. One is HR policies, but second is compensation. And currently, I am working as a HR business partner for a e-commerce firm. So when I was in policies, I actually got to design certain things that would be helpful to people and also make sure that things are easier. When I was in compensation, again, I got to make sure during the comp cycle that our system is all fair and running smoothly. And currently, in my firm, I've had to take some certain tough calls regarding maybe performance and all of that. I was able to make sure I also team restructuring movements of people. Since I had that personal touch, I was able to wherever influence the decision that the employees that I know are getting what they want. Because sometimes you don't care if A is good at B and B is good at A. In a like a random situation, A will be doing B and B will be doing A. So that's where I come in, and since I have that contact, I am able to help. So I absolutely don't regret taking HR, and I'm very happy that I'm actually getting to do all these works. But before my MBA, I made rangolis. I have not got a single opportunity to make a rangoli right now.
ट्रू 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 एंड सी अब बेस्ट पार्ट क्या है कि रंगोली एचआर वाला बना नहीं रहा है, एचआर वाला तुमसे बनवा रहा है. प्लीज नोट दैट वेन एवर देर इज अ दिवाली फेस्टिवल, दिस फेस्टिवल, डांस तुम ही कर रहे हो. एचआर वाले करवाते हैं बेटा, करते नहीं है. द बिगेस्ट कंसल्टिंग आई थिंक रोल्स आर इन एचआर. The 3 roles you talked about, most of them involved advisory, and HR involved the consulting part. Where to maybe it's a process improvement, maybe it's any kind of activity which is there. You are actually impacting the company and their major resource, which is the human resource part of that. Vinay Kumar said he has worked in HR and it's the most hectic job, especially in startups. And I lost my hair after working into HR. So Vinay, I can understand that. So which is fine. So that's people don't understand. That's why everyone thinks that their role is the best. सेल्स वाले से बात करोगे, बोले भैया कंपनी उनके नाम पे ही चल रही है. एचआर वालों को important, every role is important. All 5 operations से लेके IT, HR, finance, marketing, everyone have their own challenges, everyone have their own advantages. What you want to do, दिल पे हाथ रखो, आपको उसमें जॉब लगेगी. Fine. So Shelly, any courses you recommend me I should do before I come for the MBA, so that in the interview I can relate to it, because most of us don't have a HR experience, but we want to do MBA in HR. So क्या आपने कोई ऐसा courses किया था या any certification which you recommend which
Not
can help me?
necessarily, absolutely not. It's just that if you had some brief work experience, if you were aware of what HR was doing, how HR was impacting you, what changes you could have brought, just the awareness is enough. That you don't have to do any extra course.
Correct. Gaurav Nagi asking what HR can do apart from doing extracurricular activities and chit chat. Gaurav, that's the main problem. For non-MBA, this is what we think about HR, because we don't know what is going on. Because their interaction with a typical employee is about doing extracurricular activities. ठीक है, जबकि training and development is one of the major areas to focus on. Yeah. And after I become a CEO, I realize the value of HR today. कि भाई उस समय अगर MBA के टाइम पे मैंने वो HR के लेक्चर अच्छे से अटेंड कर लिए होते, शायद आई वुड हैव बीन इन अ बेटर पोजीशन. ठीक है. MBA HR वाले 15,000 की सैलरी पे 1.5 लाख ऑफर देते हैं, 1.5 लाख वाला काम करवाते हैं. अरे विनय बस यार भाई, बहुत घबराया पड़ा है HR को लेके. हाँ तो वो तो है ही, वो तो दैट इज अ गुड पार्ट ऑफ अ employer. If he's making you, paying you 15,000 and getting a 15 lakh ka salary out of you, so that is the best part. ठीक है.
I'd
That
like to
is,
add one more thing.
yeah, please.
So, post my work experience, I could have directly got into an HR role as well. But entry level HR roles don't pay well, neither will you get the right kind of impactful roles. So, if you join as you might be a recruiter, you might be someone in the
Correct.
operations team.
Correct.
This is not something I wanted, and I think more when they're referring to HR doing these work, that is what the roles that they're talking about. So the
Correct.
MBA,
That
yeah.
is true for everyone. That is true for sales also. The sales you are getting at the non-MBA, the entry level, are very low. In fact, HR operation is much better than sales, because sales as a opening in your career is a very horrible job. देखा जाता है, every role is bad. If you compare the post-MBA world, obviously you can't even compare that. And most of the people who are posting bad comments about HR is because they don't know what is HR. Rather than they feeling sorry for HR, we are feeling sorry for you because you don't know what is HR is all about. ठीक है, तो प्लीज गाइस इट्स अ वेरी गुड एरिया टू वर्क फॉर, बट अगेन एंड ऑफ द डे तुम दिल पे हाथ रखो, आपको जो पसंद आता है वो करके जाओ, but yes, you should have interest in that, and that should come across in the interview. If you can do a couple of, like, if I'm an engineer, I want to go for MBA HR. If I can do a couple of certification HR, or if I got involved in some kind of work, like Vinay have worked in I am Lucknow ka incubator center as a HR. So yeah, you have gained that experience. Now you can सीना ठोक के तुम इंटरव्यू में बोल सकते हो मेरे को HR करना है, बिकॉज आई हैव गेन्ड एक्सपीरियंस इन दैट, बिकॉज दीज थिंग्स डज मैटर, right, in the end of the day. So recruitment is, can you give us 4 5 major areas in HR? Recruitment is one of them.
So,
Rating is one of the very important areas where HR people have that say. Forecasting is one of that area, because especially in the bigger companies, IT companies, you have to hire almost 50,000 people in the next 1 year. So how many at the entry level, how many at the advanced level, this, that. Process improvement is one area, right? So can you add a couple of few so that student can make up their mind कि आज मेरे को interview में देख के help them to talk about.
yeah, so broadly, the HR roles that you would get after MBA would either be HR business partnering, where you need to have business knowledge and make sure that the business achieves their goals, like org structure, retention of employees, maybe attrition. These are things that you would be concerned about for the org, and if the org goes through any uh, layoffs or anything, you will come in as a influencer there. So that is one of the role, HR business partnering. Then there is talent acquisition. So post MBA, what you would mostly get is the campus roles, where you would go to the campus for recruitment drives and also for executive hiring. So this is not really hiring for the entry level folks. Mostly you would be very specialized hiring role, where you would be maybe mid to senior level folks. And then there would be compensation and benefits or compensation analyst. Again, this is a when you enter the field, you will get a compensation analyst role, post which you could become a compensation manager, where you actually make the decisions like the hike cycle, performance cycle, promotion hike, all these decisions would be under you. And then lastly, there would be training and development. I might have missed something here and there. But training and development is, I've not seen a lot of my MBA colleagues doing this. So generally, it's more of a specialist role. Yeah, I think that's it.
Correct. So guys, अगर HR वाले को 25 लाख का सैलरी मिल रहा है तो उसने अपने 25 लाख की सैलरी का काम भी निकलवाएगी कंपनी, बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ पीपल थिंक दैट के यार फाइनेंस वालों को 25 लाख मिला बनता है, मार्केटिंग वालों को 25 लाख बनता है, HR वालों को 25 लाख क्यों मिलता है? भाई उनका रोल तुमसे ज्यादा, तुमसे काम करवाना उनका रोल है, right? Indirectly वो भी, directly they can't do. You see, directing an employee to do something is very easy, but directing a boss or a manager of the employee, setting up a process to make sure that people work, I think that's the most challenging task. काम खुद करना बहुत इजी है, ट्रस्ट मी यार, आस्क मी। ये काम जब करवाना होता है ना, दिमाग का दही हो जाता है, भाई मैं खुद कर लूंगा, जान दे तू, जान दे, मैं कर लूंगा खुद ही। All right, so moving to the last part of the day, how did you prepare for the that exam? If you ask me, most of the people are not focused on that till the time they apply for the exam. ठीक है, तो ऑफ कोर्स आपके साथ भी ऐसा हुआ होगा दैट यू प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर द कैट एग्जाम, एंड कैट जाने के बाद बंदा सीरियस होता है, कैट तो अच्छा नहीं गया, अभी मैं जैट अच्छा करता हूँ। So if you don't mind, can you tell us about your CAT score, CAT percentile?
So CAT, I think 97.7 around. That was 98.8.
98.8. So I want to know about the journey after CAT exam till the SAT exam. How did last 1 month came into picture? Because CAT तो सबका बेकार जाता ही है, मतलब you're never happy with how you perform the CAT exam. So what was your frame of mind and how you prepared yourself for the other exams?
So I, apart from that, I'd also prepared for SNAP. So I had about 1 week of time to fully get into the ZAT zone and focus only on ZAT. So all the other sections, the DILR, VRC, were covered in CAT. There was only one section, the DM, that you needed more practice on. And let me tell you, the logic that they use It may or may not be the logic that you agree with, but only if you do sufficient older mock papers of XLRI and you see, like, you solve them and you see where your logic, which you think is right, is not what they think is right. And you try to think how they have come up with their logic. You start thinking in only what XLRI thinks is right. That is the way to crack the DM paper. There is no other way.
Correct. And
And
if
these
you are,
questions repeat.
sorry,
The logic will always be consistent with what they are thinking.
correct. So if you ask me, number one thing which you have to do is pick up the last year का papers.
Yes.
आपको 10 पेपर करने पड़ेंगे. That's my advice. Did you follow same thing?
Yes, I solved as many papers that were available. At that time, not many were there. So
Correct. Last 10-year, 5-year paper, if you can do, that's the number one advice which everyone does. And then second thing which I recommend you is giving mocks. क्योंकि कैट का पैटर्न अलग है, सिम्बी का पैटर्न अलग है, सीमेट का पैटर्न. सो हाउ मेनी मॉक्स यू माइट हैव टेकन?
I did not take a very huge number of mocks, but post every mock, I've spent sufficient time analyzing where I've gone wrong. So these same questions would generally repeat. So I would say maybe every 2 days in the last 1 month, I had taken a mock. I still consider that not enough. So,
Correct.
so in maybe 30 days, I've done 15 mocks.
15, yeah, 10 to 15 is more than enough to give 10 mocks. 10 to 15 if you can do, that will get you 99 percentile के आजू बाजू. Again, that depends on luck, hard work, a lot of things are included in that. And third thing is about the DM. Maths verbal काफी हद तक आपका cover हो जाता है when you talk about the CAT exam, other exams. But DM के लिए अलग से आपको लगाना पड़ेगा. But I think 3 days are more than enough for that. So if you can combine these three things, but main thing is CAT के बाद किताब खोलने की इच्छा नहीं होती यार, ये सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम आती है. You don't feel like studying once the CAT exam is over, right? That's one of the main challenge we people feel.
Yeah.
Correct. So I'll pick up a few questions and then we'll close it off. Should I do my MBA after graduation? Gaurav, you do after graduation only. Okay. So I think we have covered up most of the question. I picked up all the question. How did you find about MBA is your passion? That's a good question. आपको कब लगा that MBA is your way forward?
So I definitely did not want to. I was in a very entry level position as an analyst. And even for an engineer, I did not feel like the work was appropriate. I was mostly doing copy paste of Excel, running reports. I
इतना
straight
सच
away
नहीं बोलना था.
I straight away wanted to jump from the entry position to like a mid senior level. And there was no other way to do that rather than get an MBA.
MBA, correct. That's one of the main reasons why change is one of the main reason. And for me, it was only about the money part, to be very frank. So I met my roommate at Churchgate station. So tie वाई लगा के घूम रहा, अरे किधर घूम रहा तू? तो I was earning 21,000 salary, he was earning 1 lakh का salary. अबे साले मेरे नंबर तेरे से ज्यादा आते थे, तू 1 लाख कैसे कमा रहा है? Then he told me when for his MBA from I'm Ahmedabad by the way. So he inspired me to do my MBA कि यार देखो भाई 12 घंटे काम आपको करने, तो 12 घंटे काम करके अगर मैं 12 लाख का पैकेज कमा सकता हूँ तो मैं 20 हजार के काम क्यों करूँ इफ आई कैन अर्न 1 लाख पर मंथ. मतलब यार ये बात तो ठीक है यार. सो एंड अगेन इफ द मनी इज कमिंग द प्रोफाइल विल आल्सो कम. Like you focus mainly on the profile. Maybe that's a more sophisticated answer than my answer. So my was crude money यार. तो simple 12 घंटे मैं आपको दे रहा हूँ, मेरे को जब पैसा मिल सकता है 4 time and I have to just crack one exam and why not try it? Luckily हो गया. So I think that's one of the, so basically 3 reasons are there, Gaurav, why people go for MBA. Number 1 is change. I'm bored of what I'm doing today. I want to change. I'm looking for a change. I don't want to do HR. I want to do HR, but I'm stuck in sales. I don't want to do sales. I don't want to do operations. And so that's one reason. Second reason is, of course, the money part. And third is the profile. And trust me, all three are interlinked to each other. Good profile come with a good package come with a good profile. So you have to, one fine day वो आएगा. वो मेरे को बॉस से गाली पड़ा था एक दिन, मस्त गाली दिया उसने. That day it was my turning point कि नहीं यार अब बस हो गया. Now I have to prepare for my MBA. So that was my turning point. उसके बाद CAT, ZAT सारे एग्जाम दिए.
Sometimes you also feel like you can do so much more than the job you have at hand. and you can earn so much more. You can get that much more power to make decisions which you won't get in your current role.
Correct. But I think one of another reason is that we are not happy. People who are not content with their current situation, they normally go for MBA. Fine. And these are the people, especially me, we are not content with anything. I don't know if you felt that. मैं MBA में जाने से पहले भी खुश नहीं था. MBA में जाके खुश नहीं था. I got a consulting placement. I'm not happy. I was in England for 5 years. I was not happy. So because we always think of doing something better, better, better. I think that's the biggest advantage people like us have. Those who are going for MBA, कि we want something better. And till the time that zeal is there or that passion is there, you will grow in life. And trust me, जिस दिन वो खत्म हो गया ना ग्रोथ चार्ट बनना, उस दिन डाउनफॉल शुरू होगा. आई फेल्ट दैट, आई बीन थ्रू दैट फेज आल्सो. तो इसलिए भैया जब तक ग्रोथ अच्छा अच्छा सोचो, अच्छा अच्छा ऊपर ही जाओगे फिर. चलिए, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर
Yeah,
जॉइनिंग अस
maybe
टुडे.
one last thing, because I have prepared a few slides.
या,
I would like to show my timetable. I recently found it.
वाओ.
Share. So I still have the memories of how I'd gone through the last 15, 30 days.
Oh, it's
So
a day by day timetable.
yeah,
Wow. Can
day
you
by
explain
day
this, please?
timetable, topic wise, divided. So I was weak in only some areas, which I was very clear about. I'd given more time for that. So
Can you enlarge one and explain us one day?
yeah.
Day one or day, any of the day, you can explain us.
Yeah, so maybe I'll talk with day one. So 10 questions of para jumbles. Then reading comprehension, read 10 paras. Then in LR, so solve Venn diagrams, five of them. Then in speed math, I think 10 questions. Then coming to QA, uh, solve questions from arithmetic, percentages, algorithm. I can't even remember what, something like that.
Correct,
So
correct.
30 to 50 questions. So I start my day from, I also actually had a career break for about 1 year for preparation for CAT. So during the last 1 month, I had all day for this. From morning, I would start with this, and then evening, if I had some more spare time, I would read the Hindu or the Hindu editorial or something like that. So that was it.
Superb. Superb. And there was another chart for quant verbal logic. What was that about? That was a complete syllabus.
Let me check.
Like a lot of times we make a Excel sheets or people do it online or they take it from other coaching institute. Like I always give a like 30 days plan, 60 days plan. But if you can make a plan like this, a handwritten plan. So I think that's one of the best thing you can do. So this is,
Yeah.
I think, syllabus, right?
Yes. So this was always on my desk. So I always knew what I have to cover. I'm
Wow.
very
So this is for
clear.
CAT, right?
Yeah.
15 days plan, 3 hours every day verbal, 2 to 3 hours every day DLR, and 3 to 4 hours every day quant, right? That's a daily plan.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Speed maths पे आप focus कर रहे हो, तो why speed is not required for the CAT exam?
I was bad at maths, so I needed it. I knew my weakness. I was good at everything else except for maths.
DLR, Venn diagram, arrangements, grouping, and distribution, games and tournaments. Yeah, the main 4 topic of that you used to do that. 3 to 4 set every day, right?
Yeah.
That was the target. This is last 15 days plan.
Yes, I think.
तो भाई ऐसा एक प्लान बनाओ और 97 परसेंटाइल मार के आओ. और how many mocks you might have taken for the CAT exam?
Yeah, as I said, one mock every 2 days. So I think including every other mock, over 30 mocks.
30 mocks.
Yeah.
25 is my thumb rule. So you have given more than my thumb rule. I always say like ZAT, I say 10, you've given 15. CAT, I said 25, you gave 30.
No, that I
Symbiosis, how
did
many?
not give any mocks, just the DM section.
DM कह दिया. ओके ओके ओके. हाँ यार, कैट में तुम इतना प्रिपेयर कर लो, देन जैट में एक बार तो हार्ड वर्क करना है. इधर यू डू नाउ और यू डू आफ्टर कैट. You have to do the hard work. एंड अगर कैट में हार्डवर्क नहीं किया तो और दिमाग खराब होता कि अभी तो करना पड़ेगा. लाइक आई इग्नोर्ड मैथ्स थ्रू आउट कैट, बट आफ्टर कैट यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर मैथ्स. अरे यार जब करना ही था तो पहले ही कर लिया होता, कैट भी अच्छा जाता.
Mm.
ग्रेट ग्रेट ग्रेट. थैंक यू यार, थैंक यू शेरली, थैंक यू वेरी मच. नाइस टॉकिंग टू यू.
Thank you for having me.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू. एंड थैंक यू एवरीवन फॉर जॉइनिंग अस. बाय बाय. चलो अभी हो गया हमारा खत्म.